About to start. Sorry about the slight glitch. We are about to start. Right, so let us start. Let us start. We're just 3 minutes late. Cool. So let us start. Let us start. I hope everyone is okay and happy. I hope everyone is fine. And I hope everyone is all right. Sorry about the glitch. Sorry, deep sorries about the glitch we just had. Yeah, but since we're all together again, before we start the class, right? Before we start the class. Today we're looking at the addition and subtraction of fractions. If we're able to go beyond the addition and subtraction of fractions, we'll also touch on the multiplication and division of fractions. Right. And then after looking at the multiplication and division of both things, you need to go back now and look, what is it that you still don't understand or get about most of the concepts that we've been doing? So, all right, let's just go there direct. And let's ask the question. What do you guys find problematic now? Right now in your, whenever you do the work, what out of the things that are listed here, do you guys still find as a problem? What do you guys still find as a challenge? You can raise your hand or you can write it in the chat. What do you still find as a challenge? Because the thing is, we have done the revision. The videos are on YouTube, right? And it's important that you guys know what you're struggling with so we can actually address it. Now, in terms of your test, is that your test will be available from tomorrow. And then from tomorrow, you try and do it for tomorrow and Wednesday. Thursday is when we do corrections. So the test is when you're going to be doing it within your own space, right? At home, while we still continue with work at the side. And then once you're done, by Thursday is when we do corrections for the very test. Right. Now, with that being said, I would like to know from you guys quickly, what challenges do you find? Out of the list there, what is still problematic? What is still challenging? What still gives you sleepless nights? Hello?
Division.
Division. All right. All right. Thank you so much for your contribution. Let me go. Hello.
Hello, sir.
How are you?
I'm fine, and how are you, sir?
I'm excellent. What do you
I'm
still?
fine, sir. Okay, the thing that I struggle with is division.
Division as well. So I'm finding that
Yes,
majority
sir.
you are having problems with division. All right. Hello.
Sir, I'm mostly struggling with division.
As well. All right. I'm finding it's only one that's one repetitive problem. Hello.
Hello, sir.
How are you?
Good, and you?
I'm
Sir,
good.
I'm struggling with division.
All right. All right. Is there anything else besides division? Let me just get that clear. Is there anything else besides division? Hello? Hello?
Hi, sir.
How are you?
I'm fine.
I'm excellent. Do you have any other problem besides division?
Multiplication.
All right. Now, as I've said, the videos are on YouTube. But if your problem still persists after watching the videos on YouTube, because I've gone explicitly on the way I've taught them, right? And the videos are on YouTube under the Africa Teen Geek channel. So since the videos are on YouTube and you still find a problem, send me an email. As I put my email on the chat, send me an email and I will give you resources and whatever you need so that you'll be able to actually try it for yourselves. Send me an email, say, you know what, sir, please help. I'll send you everything that I have, all my itinerary for you to assist. Because another thing is, I cannot allow you guys to get more stuck, and yet this thing can be sorted out in the easiest of ways, right? So I hope everyone has this thing down. These are the concepts that you're going to be dealing with tomorrow in your test. The only addition is fractions, but it's not even going to be very hard. It's going to be a very nice, easy test, very simple. It's not going to be very problematic. Right. So let's move on. Let us move on. Can we also keep the chat to the class, the current class? Right, so here is vocab that if you do not have, please write it down. I'll give you 2 minutes to write this down. If you do not have this, please write it down. What a prime number is, what a factor is, and what is a multiple. So when we look at a prime number, I'll give you about 3 minutes to write it down. When you look at a prime number, you're looking at a number that is only divisible by 1 and the number itself. So out of all the numbers that you have in the whole counting system, a prime number can only be divided by 1 and a number itself. A prime number can only be divided by 1 and itself. Understand? So it has its factors would be 1 and itself. Understand? Like 7. If you think about 7, 7 is not divisible by 2. 7 is not divisible by 3. 7 is not divisible by 4. 7 is not divisible by 5. 7 is not even divisible by 6. So 7 is only divisible by 7. Look at the number 13. 13 is not divisible by 2. 13 is not divisible by 3. 13 is not divisible by 4. 13 is not divisible by 5. 13 is definitely not divisible by 6. 13 is not divisible by 7. 13 is not divisible by 8. And 13 is not divisible by 9. Neither is divisible by 10, 11, or 12. That's what makes it prime. That there's no number besides itself that can divide that number. Then we got factors. Now, factors are numbers you multiply to get another number. If we look at 24, and we say that we're looking at the factors of 24, right? So looking at the factors of 24, we must think to ourselves, what numbers can I multiply together to get me 24, to get me to my goal of 24? Now, the first idea I have is the first pair. I think, wait, 1 times 24 is 24. That means 1 and 24 are factors of 24. If I go to the next one and I say, okay, 2 times 12 is equal to 24. That means 2 and 12 are factors of 24. 3 and 8, when you multiply them together, you get 24. That means 3 times 8 is equal to 24. That means your factors of 24 are 1, are 2, are 3, are 8, are 12, and 24. That's what a factor is. When you look at factors, you're looking at according to a specific number. Numbers that you can multiply together to get you that specific number. And then a multiple is just counting on. If I ask what are the multiples of 100, it's 100, it's 200, it's 300, it's 400, it's 500, it's 600, it's 700, 800. It's just counting on. That's what a multiple is. A multiple is not anything else just besides counting on, keep on adding the same number to itself. Counting on. That's all. I hope we're done. I hope we've written it down so that I can, all right, sorry about that, so that I can touch on the fractions. I hope we are done. I hope we are done. Can I please have notification in the chat that you are done? Please, can you please have at least 5 people telling me that they're done so that I can now start to speak about the fractions part, the most important part, the point about today's lesson, the fractions part. Then whatever we don't finish will be done tomorrow, will be added on tomorrow. And then I will touch on division. I will touch on it. I won't do it in detail. I will touch on it. I hope I'm understood very well. Whatever concept is a problem there, I will touch on it, meaning that I will do maybe a slide or two in relation to it. But please, guys, the videos are on YouTube. Even this video itself is going to be on YouTube. The videos are on YouTube. Please, 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 please. Please, 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 please. Don't allow yourself to suffer when the videos are on YouTube. You have my email address. You have my email address. Right. So when we look at fractions, right? When we look at fractions, the number one rule of fractions is that you only add fractions that have the same denominator. You only subtract fractions that have the same denominator. And you only multiply fractions. You don't divide fractions. Fractions have 3 operations. It's addition, subtraction, multiplication. That's all. If you find a fraction being divided by another fraction, you are going to change that sign into a multiplication and also change the fraction on the right-hand side. But above and beyond, you only add and subtract and multiply fractions. And when you add and subtract fractions, you only add and subtract fractions with the same denominator. You do not add and subtract fractions with a different denominator. You do not add and subtract fractions that have one denominator is 10, the other denominator is 13, or one denominator is 3, the other denominator is no. You only add and subtract fractions with the same denominator, same basis. They are from the same family. They are subtracting things that are common to each other. Same. Let me just go into a question immediately. So, right here, guys, let's have a discussion. Let's have a discussion. What is, before I go into the question, what is the first thing that I can see here that I'm being told when I look at this part here? What is the first thing that comes to mind? What is the first thing when you look at a fraction? What is the first thing with especially different denominators that should come to mind? The first thing that should come to mind. Hello?
So sorry, I forgot to put my hand down.
All right. It's fine. Hello?
Afternoon, sir. The first thing that comes to my mind when you multiply or divide fractions it can show you whether to plus, divide, multiply, or subtract. So that's the first thing that comes to my head. This sum is gonna be a multiplication or a division sum.
Uh, uh, you're not there. You're not there yet. But thank you for the effort. You're not there yet. You are. I'll have to just try. Hello. All right. Hello. Hello.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. What is the first thing that comes to mind when it doesn't matter if the fractions or denominators are the same. I don't say that, but it doesn't matter on what operation that's being on whether it's addition or subtraction. But what is the first thing that must come to mind when you're thinking about adding or subtracting fractions? What is the first thing that must come to mind?
So I was gonna say that the numbers are at the denominators. I would think that I should do something so they could be the same,
Amen.
and then I would
Thank
add
you.
them together. Then I would get
There
the
we
answer.
go. There we go. The first thing that must come to mind is that the denominators must be the same. That's the first thing that has to come to mind. When you're looking at an addition or subtraction or a fraction, you must look at your denominators and say, are these denominators the same? If the denominators are the same, your life becomes easy. Then you just say, okay, now it's a problem between the numerators, which how am I adding or subtracting the numerators if the denominators are the same? But if they're not the same, then what must you do? Second question, what must be done to the denominators if they are not the same? If the denominators are not behaving for us, what must we do to them? You know, like at home, if you're not behaving, what must be done to you? What must we do if they're not behaving? Hello?
Hello, sir. We should
Yes.
put brackets and multiply the numbers so that they can be the same.
All right. Awesome. So we must find our lowest common denominator and then change the denominators. So there are two ways, right? There is a method of just multiplying both denominators, getting a number as the lowest common denominator, or you can just say as a common denominator, then later on simplify. The other method, which is much more safer, right? But it depends on also the size of the size of the denominators, is that you just count on the multiples. So what are the multiples of 4? It's 4, 8, 12. I'll just end at 16. 16. And then you've got 2, 4, 6, 8. Then now the biggest question out of all comes to say that, okay, I've got these. Which number is the lowest and common? Which number is the lowest and common? I can see that it's 4. Then what you do is that now I need to change whatever. See this one here, the 5 over 4. I leave it because it's already over 4. So I need to change my 2. What do I need to multiply my 2 with to change it to 4? 2. And whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. That's why I say that 2 times 2 is 4. 15 times 2 is 30 over 4. Then I've got 5 plus 30 is 35 over 4. I convert this into a mixed. I ask how many times does 4 go into 35? It's 8 times. Why? Because 8 times 4 is 32. How much do I need to get to 35? 3. So it's 8, 3 over 4. Simple as that. Because all you need to do, guys, is you're changing this over here. Because your question, honestly, your question, you only start doing the maths here. You only start actually dealing with the problem here. This is the process that you must follow, a very important process you must follow in order to change this into this. Because all you're doing is changing your fractions in order that it makes it easier for you to get the answer. That's all you're doing. That's what the process is of making denominators the same. You're making denominators the same so that it is easier for you to actually work it out. That's why we make denominators the same. We make denominators the same so that it's easier for us and we're only working with numerators, and also that the answer will be correct. Because remember that with fractions are representations of something. If you look at a fraction, is a representation of something, right? So I'm saying I have a half of something, right? Let's look at this. Let's look at a question. I've got a half of something, and that half of something, I want to add it to a quarter of something. So I want to add a half of something to a quarter of something. I can't just add and say, no, it's 1 and 1 and no. I need to know how do I change this into quarters so that I know that whatever this is in quarters, it's easier to add. If someone says, I've got bread, you know, the infamous, or let me say the well-known quarter, right? Which is just a quarter of a loaf of bread, right? And someone says, how do I now take a half a loaf, right? How do I take a half a loaf and I change it into quarters? You need to change the denominator. If a half a loaf is 1/2, you need to change the denominator so that it works to say that, how do I convert this into quarters? Because right now, there, one side is looking at quarters, the other side is looking at halves. So you don't just add, they need to be on the same basis. Then you can add. Then you know what you're adding something that you can see. Right. So I hope everyone has understood. I hope everyone understood. I hope everyone is fine and everyone has understood. I hope you've also written this down. I hope everyone has written this down now. The lowest common denominator, lowest, that's why we say lowest, it's 4. Lowest common denominator here is 4. Please do not go far. Right. Good. Let's go to the next one. I know that I can go on and on and on, but it's important. Right. Now, again, first question I have in mind. What is the first thing I should think about when I look at here? First thing I should think about when I look at here. First thing I should think about when I look there. First thing. Hello?
Hello, sir.
Yes, how are you?
Fine, and you?
I'm good.
So the first thing you should look at is the denominator must be the same.
Exactly. Exactly. I think we are finally understanding each other. Now, in this question, why did I multiply? In this question, why did I, my LCD or LCM is not really 240. It's actually 60. But in this context, what I did was I actually multiplied 12 times 20. Why did I do that? Because I saw that I'm dealing with one thing that has a 0. So I could just say 12 times 20 is 240. But if I listed, right? If I listed my multiples, right? And then I listed them. Let's list. I was going to say that if I listed my multiples as I was supposed to, and I say 20, 40, and I say 60, and then I go to 80. And then I go to my dear friend 12. So it's 12, 24, 36, 48, and then my dear friend 60. Automatically, 60 here is our lowest common denominator. But in this instance, I used 240. And I took this denominator, I multiplied it with the denominator and the numerator of this fraction. I took this denominator, multiplied it with the denominator and the numerator of the next fraction. Then I got 80 over 240 plus 84 over 240, which is 164 over 240. Then I need to simplify by asking, what number can divide 164 and what number can divide 240? It's 2, which is 80 over 120. What number can divide 82? It's 2. What number can divide 120? It's 2, because they must be the same, which gives me 41 over 60. If I followed my method of using 60 as my lowest common denominator, I would have got the answer even quicker without needing to simplify. Why use the lowest common denominator? So we don't need to simplify later on. So I've got 4 over 12 plus 7 over 20. And then I just say, okay, to get you into 60, I must multiply by 3. And to get you into 60, I must multiply by 5 on both sides. Times 5 times 5. Then my final answer is here. This one's going to be 20 over 60. And this one is going to be 21 over 60. And you know that this will give us a final answer of this. So you can follow this method here or use this method. The problem about this method is that the simplifying at the end. If you do not know how to divide properly or how to divide numbers at random, you will meet a problem. You will meet a problem. So it's very important that we prefer writing and listing our multiples. We list our multiples. Because yes, that method is quicker, but you would need to always now think and say, okay, I need to put this at my lowest form. And my lowest form is when now I cannot find any other number to divide both the top number and the bottom number, the numerator and denominator. So the first method, the second method I showed you that we did the last time, the method that we did the last time works best. The method that we did the last time works best. Are there any right now we're going to go into just one of subtraction, and then after subtraction, then I'm going to show up your homework. Do we understand the part now? Are we fine? Are we lost? Do we still understand? Are we fine? Is there any problems, or do we understand? As long as we understand, then it's perfect. I want us to make sure that we're at a point of understanding. That's what I want. I want to make sure that we understand. All right. I want to make sure that we understand. I see someone here says that they are lost. Let me go and find them. I want to make sure that we understand division and subtraction are not far, no, addition and subtraction are not far-fetched ideas, but I want to make sure you guys understand. Hello? Hello? Hello, how are you?
Good, and you?
I'm good. What don't you understand? What's confusing you?
So, I would say
What is confusing you?
I think everything, sir.
Everything.
Yes.
So, okay. You know why we changed the denominators, right?
Yes.
Why do we change the denominators?
So that can be easy to multiply.
Uh-uh. According to addition and subtraction of fractions, why do we change the denominators?
I'm not sure, sir.
All right, we change the denominators. So why? We are so we can just quickly add or subtract the fractions. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
The reason why is that the denominators have to be the same in order for us to add and subtract.
Okay.
Understand? For
Yes,
example,
sir.
I know that it's a far-fetched idea, but if someone comes to you and says that I want to trade you an action figure for marbles, would it how would you know how much of the action figure must you give for it to be equal to the marbles? Unless the action figure itself was marbles, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Someone says to you that you have 15 marbles and I give you 3 more marbles. How many marbles would you have now?
18.
Right. But if now someone comes to you and says that you have 15 marbles and I'm giving you a head of an action figure, the head of Spider-Man, and then asks you how many marbles do you have now, what would you say?
16.
Uh-uh. You would not be able to answer because remember that the head of the action figure is not a marble. But let's say the action figure was a marble, then you would be able to say what? 16. That's why the same reason why we have to change our denominators of fractions to make them the same.
Okay.
What I would tell you is to please send me a mail, and then I'll send you also resources to look at, and especially look at what a fraction is. You understand? It's
Yes,
very
sir.
to understand what a fraction is than just looking at it as a concept in maths. I know it's tempting to do that, but it's very important that we look and ask ourselves the question of what a fraction is. When we talk about a fraction, what am I talking about? Or am I just talking about something random or something that doesn't exist? What is a fraction? Then I think you start understanding. Nah?
Yes, sir.
You have my email address again. You do have my email address.
Yes.
Please send me an email.
Okay.
Awesome. Is there anyone else who might have a problem? Is there anyone else who might have a problem? All right. Everyone understands. Excellent. Excellent. This is what I want. This is what I love. This is what I live for. Right. Let's look at quickly. Yeah, because I need to show up your homework. So when we're subtracting fractions here, again, first question we ask, I'll do this one with you. First question we ask is, what must I do here? I must have denominators that are the same. Now, because this is a whole, I'll just have to put it over 1. Then I'm now saying 2 over 1 minus 6 over 10. Denominator here is 1. So obviously, my lowest common denominator will have to be 10. So I'm going to multiply the numerator by 10, the denominator by 10. I have 20 over 10 minus 6 over 10. I subtract the 2, I've got 14 over 10, which is 1, 4 over 10. I'm done. Simple. Basic thing is to just change this into this. That's all you're doing. Please write this down. That's all you're doing. The most important part is just changing the denominators, changing the fraction in order so that it can be subtracted or added to. That's all that is needed, guys. Nothing more, nothing less. No tricks. No tricks at all. No tricks at all. There are no tricks here. We're not trying to trick you. I'm not trying to trick you. I'm not trying to play mind games with you. I'm saying that there are no tricks at all. Right, we have about 5 minutes left. Are you guys done writing this down? Can I please have notification in the chat if you are done writing? Yes, we have 5 minutes left. I need to get some notification in the chat if you guys are done writing this down. If you guys are done writing, can I please be notified in the chat if you guys are done writing? Are you done writing stuff? Is there anyone having a problem? Please quickly write. If you're not done, write. Please. Make sure you write. Make sure that you write. Please, guys. Thank you so much for the productive lesson. And thank you for enlightening me on the problems that you guys meet. I truly appreciate it. I truly appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much that you guys took the time as well to talk and say that this is what I have a problem with, this is what I don't have a problem with. So I want to show you your homework before I disappear. I'm not saying goodbye now. I just want to show you your homework. I'm giving time to those who say that they're still writing so that they can quickly write so we can move on to the next thing. Please, quickly write. Those who are still writing, quickly write so we can move on to the next concept, to your homework, and then we close. Please quickly write, whoever's still writing. All right. I think all of you are done writing. Let us move on to the next part. Let us move on to the homework. And then you guys, I can ask you guys questions. This is what we'll do tomorrow. Unfortunately, we could not go over it because of time. But I think we dwelled too much on addition and subtraction, so it's fine. I thought you guys would have been already at the level of understanding that we're just going to do 1 or 2 examples, but it's fine. Are there any questions before we leave? Hello?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to ask, when is the test?
So let me explain the test. The test is available from tomorrow, right? The test being available from tomorrow, that you'll be able to do the tests tomorrow. Tomorrow, what we're going to do is still going to be doing revision so that when you're doing the test alone at home, you'll be able to actually work out the things and see everything out properly. So the test, you do it alone with yourself there at home. Then corrections are done on Wednesday. We'll be doing corrections on Wednesday. So the test, you do it alone at home, right? You do it alone with your parent at home. And then on Thursdays when I'm going to give you guys the corrections to the test. So the test will be available on the website from tomorrow. The test will be available. Are there any other questions? Are there any other questions? Are there any other questions? There's your homework. Are there any other questions? Please screenshot. Please write as quick as possible. Are there any other questions? As I've answered, that the test will be available from tomorrow. Are there any other questions before I sign off? Are we done writing down the homework? Please do your homework, guys. Maths is a skill. Maths is a skill. That's all I'm saying. Maths is a skill. Once you're able to possess the power of doing the skill, your life becomes so much easier. Maths is a skill. Never forget that. Never forget that. Maths is a skill. Maths is a skill. All right. That is all from me. I love you all. Stay amazing, stay beautiful, stay fantastic, and always remember that you are the future and the world will forever be yours. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.